You have to have this empathy with the timber and to try to coax sound out of a piece of wood, which is, continues to fascinate me. The fact that you can make these beautiful sounds out of bits of timber, it's like crazy, bits of timber and a piece of string. You can kind of make a recipe out of these different timbers and create different sounds. And depending on the timbers themselves, you're making them different thicknesses and bracing them in different ways to try to extract the best qualities from them. So it's a fascinating subject to pursue. If a customer comes to me with a sound in their head, I have to try to work out what it is that they're trying to describe to me, and I'll suggest different timbers that we might make it out of. What's nice about it though is you learn something different every week, and it's one of those things, the more you find out, the less you know as well. And I'm sure there's a famous song there, the more I find out, the less I know. When I was a child and a teenager, they were horrible things that you bought, which is why I started pulling them apart and making them nicer to play. But the standard of stuff that's out in the shops today is astonishing, and the price that you can buy it for, all because you're buying it made in some far-flung country on the other side of the world where they pay you a bowl of rice a day for making guitars so that we can all enjoy a guitar for 50 quid over here, You're paying a price somewhere for it. 40 years ago, I think it was a lot easier to get excellent quality timbers, whereas these days you have to pay more for the better quality bits, and they're not there all the time. You'll never guess what that is, I suppose, because that's a piece of ebony, and we're all led to believe that ebony is black, but of course ebony is black and white and brown. They've only been harvesting and sending us over the black bits for years. The ebony producers have been throwing 90% of the ebony away because it wasn't jet black. And of course, I'm quite happy to use that, and I think it's very attractive. Wood as a source is an ever-dwindling resource. I guess it's down to mismanagement of forests, Wood does grow on trees, and it's kind of, I suppose doing my bit, I just recycle as much as I possibly can. When I started doing this, it was never considered a problem. You never really got very much of an answer off anybody as to where has it come from and is it okay and has it been replanted. It's only over the last 10-15 years that anybody's been suggesting that we ask these questions as the rainforests have been depleted. It is a dwindling resource, and it oughtn't to be, because you can replant it and it will regrow. The price of wood has escalated like the price of houses has escalated. I think that's stupidly more expensive. You could live on 20 quid a week when I started doing this. That's all you needed. If you're a guitar maker, you have to improvise and just make it up with what you can find. There's still plenty of skips in the street full of stuff. Most of the mahogany that I use is recycled, not all of it. Brazilian mahogany isn't imported into this country anymore, and hasn't been for, 7 or 8, maybe 10 years, I can't remember. So the only brand new Brazilian mahogany that I use is old stock that's just been lying around the country, bought at auction perhaps, and then resold on. When furniture factories close down, people will, they'll sell their old stock of wood off. People will go, here's a plank of Brazilian mahogany, and wood dealers will snap it up and chop it up into guitar wood for us. But the other source is recycling it. These are old snooker tables, and I've built whole guitars out of it. You build the back, sides, front and neck all out of recycled snooker tables or whatever. So a very nice way of building a guitar. But it's ultimately very satisfying building instruments out of recycled materials. You know, it's just, you know, there's a certain joy in that for me. You know, someone else's rubbish, you're transforming it into a beautiful instrument. That, you know, you just go, that's cool. I bet there's a machine somewhere in the world that you don't need any man hours for it, and I'm sure they just feed wood in at one end and out pops a guitar at the other end. But that's not the way I do it. I like making it by hand. You know, I love all this. Carving it, shaping it, making sure it's just right. It's, that's what makes it a pleasurable job. And normally the cricket commentary's on, you're off in your own little world. So you just lose yourself in the joy of building them. Which if you've got a factory with a whole load of computer controlled machinery screaming, it wouldn't be the same. Then you'd have to employ people and you'd have to do all that stuff, which doesn't interest me in the slightest. This one that I'm making is 503, I think. Yeah, 503. So, you know, that's taken 4 decades to do that. So, are there another 100? I don't know. No. We'll see.